Good afternoon to those who listen. It is August 7th, 2018, 2:58 p.m. and I want to let you guys know how wonderful and how powerful God is. And to me, this is like the most incredible thing. I mean, God has just been doing so many things perfectly, step by step, like planned out stuff for me for like at least like a year now, and everything seems to be totally step by step like it's supposed to be, and I'm just trusting God and just following. And yesterday was a rough day, to say the least, and I just believe that it was all part of God's plan somehow, some way, and it just was so weird and so crazy that it couldn't possibly be anything but God. So listen to this story and tell me if you feel the power of God. Okay, so yesterday, me and my mom both got kicked out of my sister's house. She was upset about doomsday stuff. I wasn't even talking to her about it, but I was just talking to my mom about it, and she went ballistic over that, and she doesn't want to hear it no more. So I don't tell her about stuff anymore. And I just tell other people, like my mom and, like my friends and stuff. And one time I was talking on the phone with my friend Bobby. You remember Bobby? And I was just telling him about my encounter at church where I was saw an old friend that I haven't seen since, junior high. And she thought I was talking about doomsday stuff, and I'm like, I'm just talking about how great a day church was. And anyway, I don't know. So she didn't want us there no more, so we had to leave. I tried to arrange to get somewhere to sleep for the night, and the Salvation Army doesn't do it no more, which is weird. But they gave me a number to a church, and they were already full. So I put some Facebook stuff out, videos, and see if anybody in my area could, let me spend the night there at their house. And I have found one person that said I could sleep on their couch, and the problem was, I didn't want to impose my mom on them either. So we wound up doing a bunch of weird stuff. We didn't have anywhere to go, so we went to the park and just sat and talked. And it was really nice that I got to actually talk to my mom, because when she's drunk, you can't talk to her. She don't remember nothing, and you just can't talk to her. And it's nice when she's sober, everything is great, and you can talk to her, everything's fine, great. And we talked about stuff. I convinced her to go to church, so she's going to start going to church with me on Sundays. So I think that's awesome. Still got to work on my sister, but I don't know. We'll just have to see how that goes. But so anyway, we went to the park and we sat there and talked for a long time, and just trying to figure out. I was just waiting, trying to figure out where I was going to go, what I was going to do. Because of the apartment, I was too scared to go back there from the mold thing. And wait till you hear this whole story. It's just amazing. I'm sorry it's probably going to be kind of long, but it's just amazing. So we went to the park, and we're there for a while, and then we decided to go to Hy-Vee to get some Gatorades. And we were in Hy-Vee, and I remember looking up in the sky at the clouds, and there's like light patches in the clouds, but you couldn't see the sun. And so then we were going to go back to my sister's just to get pillows. I forgot my pillow, and I have to have my pillow, because if I don't have my pillow, then my neck goes out, and then my back goes out, and then there's lots more problems. So I did that, and we tried to get a hold of her son, so we didn't have to talk to her, and couldn't get a hold of him. There was something wrong, couldn't reach, unreachable, something like that. So we tried to get a hold of his friend, and then he's like, well, why don't you call, her son? And we don't have his number because he got a new phone. So we got that, and then we texted him and still didn't hear from him. So then finally I just broke down, and I just asked my sister, for the love of God, please, can we just have the pillows so we can sleep in the van? Because at that point in time, we thought that was all our choices was to do. So when we went over there, well, actually, before that, we tried to also reach the friend and couldn't do it, so we went to another area because maybe we thought just a bad reception area, couldn't get through. So we went to a different area closer to where the house was and still couldn't reach him. And then the sun suddenly came out. And I was like, whoa. And even my mom was like, whoa, I've never seen the sun look like that before. So we went to a park, a different park, where we could get a better view of it. And that's, if you saw those two videos, that's what from that was from. And it was just amazing, weird energy. It just looked very strange and wow. So from there, we went to McDonald's, got a little something to eat, and then we went to get the pillows. And I texted my sister ahead of time and said, okay, we're on our way. We're gonna, can you just put the pillows outside? We'll get them. And the text, for some reason, kept failing. It wouldn't go through. And so we got there, and I kept texting, and it still wouldn't go through. So finally, my mom went up and went to the door. And when she, my sister let her in to get the pillows. And she couldn't find my pillow, but she got hers. But when she walked through the door, she tripped. And then my sister naturally assumed that she was drunk. So she didn't want her there. Which is very strange because that's where God worked even more miracles. So I went in and found my pillow. And then we decided after all that, we're getting like 10 o'clock at night now. Right near 10 o'clock. And maybe we'll just go back to the apartment and wear a mask and leave the air off and maybe it'll be okay. So we got back to the apartment and we're talking about things, and my mom wanted to see what was under the sink, where the garbage disposal was leaking. So we went there and I showed her the leak. It's just a steady stream. It's not just a little tiny drip. It's a big stream that's coming out. And I explained to her everything. All that water was just standing there in underneath there, and it probably soaked through and through the wood, and maybe even soaked through farther, maybe got on the concrete and caused the mold. I looked up mold. Mold can form within 24 to 48 hours after the moisture. So she's like, that's it, it's got to be it. So after that, I felt this like peace come over me, like, oh, everything's going to be okay and everything's going to get fixed. And so then early in the morning, bright in the morning at 9 o'clock in the morning, I called them up and told them the whole situation, and this is it. And they said, are you there now? I said, yes. We have the property manager here. They're going to come over right away. So she came over, and she could tell there was a problem, and she took pictures and then watched the leak, and then we discovered that there's the maintenance guy also discovered that there's a leak around the ring where the sink is, where the water goes down. So there's definitely a problem, and they know there was a problem. And I told her, I'm so sorry about this. I felt like I was at desperation. I've been sick for so long. I've missed so much work. I just wanted to get this done, And and she said, we understand totally. We'll fix this. And they said they were gonna fix it today, so it's supposed to be done really soon. And when the guy came in, he came in with a mask, and when I went over there when he was working on it, I could smell it. It was pretty bad. So there was definitely something. There might have even been mold in that sink part where the ring was messed up. So they're gonna fix it all up. They're gonna rip the boards out from underneath and clean it all up and dry it all out, and then replace everything, replace the garbage disposal, and there won't be no more leaks no more. And I'm not going to even use that side of the sink anyway. I don't need to. But it's hot. And everything should be fine. And I just think this is the solution. And I think this is the answer. And I just think about the whole day and everything. Because if my mom wouldn't have got kicked out and came with me to my apartment, I would have probably never thought of all that stuff. And who knows where this would have went. I would have still probably thought it was the air conditioning, which I'm still not positive, but I'm thinking that it is just this sink area and not the air conditioning. And if that's true, and the air conditioning, all the water is gone now, but I haven't run the air in almost 3 days now, until today, because we put the air on for the guy so he could work. And so I'll have to check to see how that water is draining and everything, but I think everything is going to be fine, and I just praise God that it's all worked out. So it was very strange that the whole situation, we had to get certain things had to happen in a certain sequence, or like the whole day I spent time with my mom, and we talked a lot, and it was just a really nice conversation, and everything was just great, and I just thank God for that. And I really think that this is just all step by step God's plan, and it's amazing. If my mom wouldn't have been there, she had an experience, a few times where this same thing happened, so she knew what was going on. And before, when I told her, when she was drinking, she didn't understand, she didn't remember anything. But then, so if my mom wouldn't have went out there, this whole thing might have never happened. And I just believe God threw that all in there somehow, some way, where it all worked out like that. And if we would have went back during the day, it would have been too hot. I would have had to run the air. Who knows if that would have kicked up the spores or whatever, and made me not been able to breathe. So that was just amazing in itself there. So we got back. It was only 75. It was still hot, but tolerable. So made it through. I wore the mask and wore it halfway through the night. I wound up taking it off in the middle of the night. When I woke up, I had a little bit of breathing problems, but nothing major at all. Little nebulizer took care of it, and I was good. And I really think that this is it. And I just praise God that this. I believe this is the solution, and this was all part of His master plan. And there's one other thing that came out of this. I was like, what are you trying to teach me, God? What is it? Because I couldn't figure it out, but I think I got it. I'm going to be doing these preparedness videos, for stocking up on stuff, and water and food and stuff. But one thing that we didn't think of, or I didn't think of before, and it goes along with the gas lines exploding when the event happens, and there's toxic fumes in the air and everything. Well, you have to wear a mask for that. But a lot of people might be going underground to avoid all the smoke and the toxic fumes, and if there's water lines breaking, there'd be water everywhere. Wouldn't there be mold underground? Just massive amounts of mold. You'd have to wear a mask underground too. So my thing is, I think it was a lesson to say that we need to be prepared for mold. And so we have to have masks. So that's one of the things I'm going to be preparing for in some of the videos that are coming up. And by the time I get to my apartment, I should have internet. The internet is supposed to be, the modem is supposed to be coming today, and I should be able to hook it up today. So thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Let me know, you guys, know what you think about the power of God, because I just think this is awesome. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. God bless.